Week 4, I really started to work on filling in the other areas of the drawing that I hadn't had to work on for prompts. And this part starts to get really challenging when I'm actually tying different drawings from different days together, because while I did my best to get the shading correct, it was hard to know in context how dark or how light to make some things. So I really started to run into a big challenge with this at the end of the week. Okay, so I did a few things tonight. I worked on the other part of that map, and I started to do that one just a little bit. And then, so I did the rhinoceros cookie. That's what the prompt was today, is rhinoceros. And I worked on the hand, which I feel like is mostly done. I might, adjust the shading on it a little bit once everything's in place, because it's kind of hard to judge right now if it's correct. And then the marshmallow and the graham cracker, I was hoping to get that done tonight, but I wanted to prioritize the hand. So those I might have to do tomorrow or something. I've kind of hit that point where I'm having a hard time judging things anymore. My eyes and my brain are just really tired. So I think it's a good time to walk away. Yeah. I like it though. I always have a hard time judging doing lines and how much of them to draw in and how much not to. It's always a really weird fine line of adding definition without making things look strange. So in the hands, I'm still trying to decide, am I showing enough line, too much line? Should I bury it more in hatching? These are all things that I think I'm gonna have to make this judgment later when everything's better in place, but yeah. That was fun. The cookie was surprisingly challenging. Not in a bad way. It just took me a lot longer to shade it than I thought it was going to, because there's just a lot of contours on there. And trying to differentiate the sprinkles from just the weird crumbs on top of the cookie. So hopefully this reads as a rhinoceros. I think it does, but who knows. Anyway, I'm going to bed. Okay, I'm finished with the tent. So this is actually from a real thing that happened to us. We went camping during monsoon season up in the forest, and it rained so hard that it collapsed our easy up onto our tent. So that really happened. And I just thought that would kind of go well with this. It was some weird, abandoned, creepy tent that you're not really sure what happened there. So that one was fun. So I spent most of the night actually working on this section down here. So I fixed that a little bit because I wanted there to be a little smoother look there. And then I did the map of Usury Mountain. And this is based off of a photocopied map that they hand you that's not very good quality, which is why the lines of the map are kind of faded out, looking incomplete, the contour lines. And then this part, I worked on this map too. This is actually like the other part of this map. I still need to do the shading there, but I got the lettering done. So yeah, I actually did quite a bit here. So back when they released the prompts and I read the prompt Rusty, my mind immediately went to the song Rusty Cage by Soundgarden, because of course it did. So these are the monkeys breaking free from the rusty cage. My thought process in my head was that the monkeys from the testing facility in East Mesa, which yes, there really is a medical testing facility out there, have been let free by someone, some kind of activist maybe. So yeah. The interesting thing, I was thinking about it too, and I was like, how do I make a cage look rusty when I can only use black and white? So I tried to just kind of make it look like the bars were kind of like bent and broken down, which I think kind of works pretty well with this pen on this paper. So that was a quick one, which means I'm going to be working on some other large sections that aren't really part of a prompt for the rest of the night. Okay, so I had extra time, so I went ahead and did the side mirror and part of the door. And I might still play around a little bit more, but I think I'm basically done for tonight. Okay, so today's prompt was expedition. And so for this one, I decided to finish up the maps and specifically focus on the Peralta Trail. So the area of the Superstitions has had a whole bunch of different expeditions out there, mostly for mining, for gold mining purposes. The famous Lost Dutchman story is about someone who was trying to find the Peralta mine. And the Peralta mine was a mine that was dug by the Peralta family where there was supposedly a large load of gold found. And they were digging in that mine all the way until the 1840s, at which point they went back to Mexico. And so I would call their quest for gold to be an expedition, but I would also call the many subsequent quests later to try and find this gold mine expeditions. So if you look at the maps of the superstitions too, a whole bunch of the areas in there are named for these families or the people who went on the expeditions or places where various like battles and things happened, all sorts of things like that. So that is why I decided to draw this for expedition. So today my plan is to draw the tiniest scarecrow ever right about there. I mean, I think it's going to be half an inch tall, so that should be entertaining. So since that should be a quick and small drawing, I'm going to go ahead and work on this area. Maybe also this door. So I'm just going to try and start working my way across and getting color on some of those areas that don't have it yet. So I feel like this should be a rather relaxing evening, I think, but we'll see. Famous last words, maybe. Okay, I got some stuff done here. So I did some clouds up there, and I did part of the inner part of the door, I guess you would call it, and the air vent. So yeah. I wanted to do more, but I am really tired, so maybe tomorrow. Okay, camera's done. That wasn't too bad. I wasn't really super enthused about drawing a camera, so I'm pretty happy that I got to spend most of the time drawing the camera case. So I spent a lot of time tonight working on that door. Boy, that took forever, and I still got a little section there that's not done, but I'm happy that that's nearly there. I got some interesting details in it, so that was kind of fun. Yeah, just chugging along. And got a few more days left. This was day 26, so yeah, nearly there. Okay, after much hemming and hawing and aggravation, I am calling the road done for now. So, let's talk about this. So, first of all, I forgot to film part of it, which is just completely irritating. And then some other parts I just didn't film because I just needed to not feel like I was being watched for a minute. So before I did that, I finished up this part of the door. So I am pretty happy about how that turned out. But it was rather low stakes, you know, kind of. So, all right. So I went in and I hatched the road. And I left a lot of space around the monkeys to kind of make them more visible. And then I decided that the road hatching was really distracting and way too much, and it needed to be like smoothed out considerably more. So I took my 005 pen. I mark all the ones that are like kind of dried out with tape. So I took my one that's kind of dried out, and I used that one to kind of just fill in some of the white space, both around the monkeys and in the road itself. And I think that did help. It kind of smoothed out the road, and I decided that the monkeys were just screaming in my face too much, and it was really bothering me. So I decided I'd rather have them be kind of subtle and sneaky and like a little bit harder to see. Like you have to work to pick out what you're looking at there. Like they're kind of, you know, they're running around in the dark. It's dusk. They're kind of trying to like hide. So I think it fits better. I also went around their feet, and any spot on their foot that seemed like it should be touching the ground, I kind of took any highlighting away from that to make it seem more realistic. So that was kind of an interesting endeavor. And then I went in the cage and kind of did my best to make it look like there was something behind it without just hiding the cage altogether. So this is the part where it starts to get complicated because I'm trying really hard not to obscure some things while filling in others. Like trying to figure out how dark this part should be compared to this part. It was like weird. And then I added in an acacia bush over here, and I do like how that bush turned out. It was in the original photo, and I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to use it, but I like it, actually. I think it makes sense there. Let's see. So, did the same over here, and then I also add the road near where the dove is. So, I am happy with it now, but I was fighting with it, and I was cursing at those monkeys and just kind of wishing they weren't in this picture for a while. I was kind of mad. I still feel like I may go in and mess with them some more, but I'm just going to leave them alone for now until I have more context filled in around them, because I feel like now I'm just going to be picking at things and maybe being a little silly about it. So I think my judgment is I'm too tired to have good judgment right now.